Hello everybody, I'm Scott Favor with Virginia Mobile Air Conditioning Systems, also known as VMAX. Today we're going to take a look at a couple of different Webasto air heaters. We have one that I purchased from an online platform. This is a very popular kit, comes from Europe, and we have one kit that we sell, which is a typical North American kit. These are both gasoline airtop 2000 air heaters. What we're going to do today is I'm going to open up both of these boxes and we're going to take a look at all the items that are coming out of these boxes and compare the significantly cheaper European kit to our North American kit that you can buy from your local Webasto distributor. So I do need to disclose that in the interest of saving time, I've already opened both of these packages and removed some of the packaging on the individual parts in an effort to speed the video up a little bit and make things more clear. So we have our North American kit here, our European kit here. I have opened the heater box. It was stapled shut. I've opened it. The European kit was shrink wrapped to the cardboard tray, nice and firm. I have not removed any other packaging from the North American kit. So we'll start here on the top with our installation instructions. In the North American kit, we've got a full-size set of instructions, regular 8.5 by 11 sheet. The instructions have tips, tricks, do's and don'ts, specifications for your heater. These instructions are 37 pages. There's also a mounting template here. It's actually two mounting templates. You have mounting template for the individual hole pattern to match the items on the bottom of the heater. You use this to directly mount to the mounting surface. This gives you the smallest mounting footprint for your heater. You have your second template, which uses the mounting plate and mounting plate gasket. This requires a single 4-inch hole that you cut and then install the heater onto the plate onto the mounting surface using the bolt holes around the outside of the plate. The plate does give you a wider footprint, so if you're tight for space, you'd want to use this smaller template. Also in here we have our operating instructions. These are general operating instructions for all the airtop heaters because all the airtop heaters have the same method of operation. There's a list of fault codes in here that could be helpful to you. On the back page is your warranty statement, talking about what you've got to do to seek warranty if you have a problem. In the European kit, we've got our information pack. This is the main instruction book. It's not full size, but it is a good size. It's 38 pages long. It's written clearly in Russian, so if you speak Russian, you'll be in pretty good shape. That's the only language represented in this instruction, so that's what you get. This appears to be operating instructions based on what the other one looks like. This one looks similar. It's a fold out instead of a pamphlet. Also clearly printed in Russian, so again, if you speak Russian, you'll be in pretty good shape. I'm not sure which part of this may be a warranty statement, if there is one. Next item, we'll pull the heater out. So in our North American kit, you have your airtop 2000. This is the gasoline model. The diesel model looks identical from the outside. We have our direction of flow arrow on the top. Our cabin air is pulled in here, pushed out here as heated air. The ducting accessories that go with these heaters use 60mm ducting. On the top we have the door where our main wiring harness will connect. It'll plug right in here. So when you go to connect, make sure you push down firmly on this plug. That actually causes people more problems than just about anything else. Make sure you get this plug firmly seated. You got to wiggle and push down until it's interlocked all the way. On the side of the heater, we've got our data plate. This is the plate that gives the tag that gives you all of the information about your heater, the model number, the serial number. The bottom of the heater, we have our 4 mounting studs, our fuel inlet tube, our combustion air exhaust, our combustion air intake. The wires in the combustion air intake, these are the wires that will connect to your fuel pump. They come with no connector on them. You'll install the connector housing later on in the installation. They do it this way so that you can route this through a small hole if you have the need to do so, because the housing that go on here is pretty good size, about 1 inch or so across. So try to make it easy and leave that off for you. You can put it on later. When you put this on, make sure you're ready to put it on, because once you put it on, it takes special tools to get it off. When you're installing your air intake tubing, you simply slide this wire down into the slot, push your air intake tube around it, and the diameter of these tubes is 22 millimeters, so you use 22 millimeter air intake tubing and 22 millimeter exhaust tubing with Airtop 2000 heaters. In our Russian kit, we've got the heater printed on top in English, our direction of flow, same 60 millimeter ducting, same access door for your wiring harness connections, data plate on the side, clearly printed in Russian. Please take note of the statement. No warranty if export outside of EA, EU countries. No warranty in case of export. This has been exported to get here. There's no warranty. On the bottom of the heater, we got your four studs. Same fuel inlet, combustion exhaust, combustion air intake. Same wires with wiring harness connectors. That's it for our heater box. Let's do our mounting hardware next. So in the North American kit, we've got a package that includes the nuts and washers that fit those studs on the bottom of the heater, a small rubber gasket. The oval shaped gasket is in here that fits directly on the bottom of the heater as well. This is the one that you would use in both cases, either with the mounting plate or with the small footprint with the individual holes. This is your mounting plate gasket, which is roughly 1 inch thick. And then your steel mounting plate. This is a nice plate. It's about 1/8 of an inch thick, powder coated steel. So in our European kit, here's that rubber gasket that's in there. There is no mounting plate or mounting plate gasket. So we have our rubber gasket out of here. Here are the nuts and washers for the studs that mount the heater. Same ones that are in that kit. In this bag, we also have the air inlet grate. This is the grate that snaps over the air inlet on the end of the heater to prevent things getting sucked into the heater. Candy wrappers, pet hair, lint, dust, that sort of thing. That grate is in here. It's in the white bag packed with these other components. So that takes care of that one. Let's just go ahead and go with this bag. So we had our air inlet grate here in the white package in the center. We've got, about a dozen or so wire ties. We also have wire ties in this kit. There's your mounting bolts for the mounting plate along with the nuts. There is a length of wire loom in here also. So this wire loom, you'll use that on your fuel line. The fuel line itself is very durable, but since we're dealing with gasoline, and gasoline is, fairly volatile, we want to provide as much protection as we can. So you'll take your fuel line, run it through this additional loom, and that will give you an extra layer of protection for abrasion on your fuel line. Next we'll go here. This is our air intake silencer. The European kit does have the silencer. The North American kit does not have the silencer. So European countries, many of them have noise pollution laws and regulations. That's one of the reasons you see these silencers frequently equipped. I've heard people say both things. They don't think the heater's loud to begin with, or they do notice a difference with the silencer. There's a lot of personal preference, comfort level kind of thing involved with those comments. In the bag with the silencer is the clip that fits the silencer and the clamps that will attach the silencer to the combustion air inlet tubing and the combustion air inlet tubing to the heater. So while we're on that, let's just go with the combustion air inlet tubing. There's a Webasto part number. This is plastic tubing from the European kit. It is flexible and corrugated. The tubing from the North American kit is an aluminized foil construction, also flexible. They are roughly the same length, so you get about the same amount of tubing. The North American kit's a tad longer. Again, these are 22 millimeter tubes to fit those ports. Let's go ahead and go with some fuel system components. This is the bag from our European kit. We've got 4 straight rubber fuel line connectors, your steel fuel pump clamp, mounting clamp. It's got a rubber coating on it, and the bolt to mount the fuel pump clamp, as well as 7 fuel line clamps. In our North American kit, we have a similar package, 5 straight fuel line connectors versus 4. There's also a 90-degree rubber elbow, molded elbow in here to get you around a tight spot if you need to get around a corner. There's more clamps, looks like about a dozen clamps, and a fuel filter. So the North American kit has a few more clamps, another straight rubber piece, a 90-degree elbow, and a fuel filter. You should always use a fuel filter. This is a 25 to 30 micron fuel filter. A fuel filter's very small, so always use a fuel filter. There is no fuel filter in the Russian kit. We had our fuel pump clamp from the Russian kit. Here's our fuel pump mounting clamp in the North American kit. This is a 100% rubber construction. It's a noise damping, vibration damping clamp versus the one in the European kit, which is metal. This is the newer style clamp in the North American kit. It does a lot of good in reducing the noise that's emitted by the fuel pump, the ticking sound that you hear people talking about.
You can barely hear the fuel pump.
Yeah.
It's not even gonna pick it up on camera, but it's like...
The little rubber hanger that came in your kit is phenomenal.
It's way quieter than yours.
It's 100% rubber, so it tends to absorb that noise and quiet things down a bit. Also in this bag, we have our fuel pump. Here's our fuel pump from the European kit. We have our electrical connector right here for the wire that comes out the bottom of the heater. Here's the same electrical connector. This one, there's actually 2 connectors in this bag. 1 connector in the North American kit, and our fuel line, as well as a nut and bolt for the fuel pump mounting clamp. Our fuel line is in there. Here's the fuel line from the European kit. Looks like a Webasto part number on there. Pretty close to the same amount of fuel line, I would say. Let's do our standpipe next. In a North American kit, we have a medium duty standpipe. This is different from the heavy duty standpipe that's here in North America. It's got a very tight bend at the top, whereas the heavy duty standpipe has a much larger radius in the bend. In our European kit, we have a fuel line standpipe. This resembles the standpipe that you would see here in North America, the heavy duty standpipe, although this one does have a much tighter bend. It looks similar in construction. Next, we have our fuel pump harness. This harness is 2 meters in length, I believe, which is 6 feet. It's got the connector on it that plugs into your fuel pump. This is the connector that connects where you're going to install the connector on the 2 wires coming out of your heater. Here's the fuel pump harness from the European kit. It has 1 connector installed, bare wires on the other end. So that's why there's 2 connector housings in this kit, because you have to install 2 connectors, 1 here and then 1 on the wire that comes out of the bottom of the harness. This one has no pins on it, so you'll need to install the pins too. This harness appears to be a bit longer. It has a taped wrap around the wires. The North American kit has plastic wire loom. This is going to be a little bit heavier construction, a little better protection against abrasion than you'll get with this one. This is our exhaust pipe. Again, 22 millimeter exhaust pipe. They do look slightly different, but they both appear to be stainless steel. That does look like a Webasto part number on there. North American kit has 1 meter in, so you can see the one that comes out of the European kit's a little bit shorter, probably roughly half of that amount. They both have the end caps on them. So similar construction. When you were installing this pipe, make sure you keep this away from anything that's heat sensitive. This exhaust pipe gets hot just like the exhaust coming out of your engine. So keep this away from any brake lines, electrical wiring, fuel lines, anything like that. Make sure this has plenty of clearance around everything. You don't want to cause a problem due to a hot exhaust pipe. Here we have a bag of clips and clamps. In the North American kit, here's the clamp for your combustion intake tubing that we already pulled out of the European kit. There's also 3 P-style clamps, which will hold the tubing up into the vehicle. There were none of these clamps in the European kit. There's also the clamp. This clamp holds the exhaust pipe onto the bottom of the heater. That same clamp is here in the European kit. So we've got a few more clamps. There's also nuts and bolts in here that you would use with your P-style clamps to secure that tubing in the bottom of the vehicle. The North American kit comes with the standard rheostat control. It's a dial controller. You rotate it hotter, colder, and on off. The European kit, I ordered the one that has the multi-control. You see this multi-control all over the place online. It's a nice little controller. It's small. This controller will not work any North American air heater. It's physically not compatible. The electrical signals that come from the heater itself have different programming. So this controller will not work with a North American heater. It'll only work with European air heaters. In the package with the controller, I'm guessing these are instruction booklets, probably about every language there is, including English, and what is either an installation or an operation disc. That puts us down to the main wiring harness. We do have fuse here that will go in your main harness. This is the main harness from the European kit. This is the plug that connects into the heater underneath that small cover that I showed you. Diagnostic plug, fuse holder. This is an open fuse holder. It's not weatherproof. It'd be a good idea to install this inside if you're doing so. The connector for your multi-control, and then your battery connections, positive and negative. Your North American kit, kind of hard to say if these are the same length or not. The European kit has that same tape type of wrap around the wire, probably about the same length, I would guess. The North American kit has wire loom on it. This is better protection against abrasion than the wrap that's on the European kit. Again, we have your main plug that connects to the heater under that door with the grommet. Got your diagnostic connectors plus your additional connectors that you'll need to use if you're gonna upgrade to a smart temp later on. They are on here, they are not on there. As you can see, the harnesses are physically different. You've got the plug for your rheostat control. If you upgrade to a smart temp, you'll also plug this into the adapter harness, as well as an unused wire. You'll make use of this wire when you install a smart temp. Weatherproof fuse holders, so you could install these either in the vehicle or outside the vehicle. Fuses are already installed, so nice weatherproof connectors. We've got our battery ground and our battery positive. Ring terminals already installed. There were no ring terminals installed on the European harness. Actually, there weren't even any in the kit. So the harnesses are physically different. The control functions, the electronic functions of the heater, the programming is physically different. This wiring harness has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 wires, 11 pins in the main connector. The European harness has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pins, 8 wires in the harness. The harnesses are physically not compatible. You heard me mention a couple times that this kit appears to have Webasto part numbers on it. They do look like Webasto part numbers. Webasto dealers in North America cannot purchase European parts from Webasto. The divisions are separate. Webasto tailors their parts to the market they're selling in. They have regulations and other things to worry about, so things that are suitable for this market may not be suitable for this market as far as regulations and what the customers want. So we can't get European parts. So if you have a problem with this heater, it's clearly written on the heater that there is no warranty if it's exported outside of Russia. These people don't disclose that. So buyer beware. If you buy this, you're getting no warranty right from the get-go. And if you do have a problem, we cannot buy parts. It's not possible. Likewise, if someone in Europe purchases this North American kit, they can't get parts from here either. Different divisions, they don't swap parts. We can't do it. So it's not a matter of wanting to help you or not wanting to help you. The issue is we can't. There's the differences between your two kits. Your North American kit, your European kit. Hope this was very helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a ring. We're here Monday through Friday, Eastern Time, 8 o'clock to 4:30. Again, my name is Scott. You can get me at 757-650-0957, extension number 2, or on the web, www.vmacs.net. Hope everybody has a great day.